Good day, I am Joshua Ramos, student of Master Information System in UPOU University. Today we're going to conduct an offline interview about ethical dilemmas. If we ask what is good, people can easily respond by saying by not doing what is bad. This is when the idea of ethics come in, the discipline of good and bad. But how can we distinguish good from bad? This is when the moralities or moral codes started to function. Since Plato also asked this question, let us explore the different ways, views of philosophers and their standards or what justify their valuation of what is good. I have three ethical dilemmas and I gave my interviewee freedom to choose which ethical dilemma they will answer. And here are the different dilemmas. The first one, you discover that your coworker always has a misunderstanding with her husband and loses interest in the relationship. Will you give advice her to have a divorce? Why or why not? The second one, given that you are in a long distance relationship and you cannot give the needs of your partner, and you discover that he cheated, do you think what he did is acceptable? Why or why not? Last one, supposed to be your graduation year, but your parents are sick, and no one will provide for your family. Are you willing to sacrifice your study to support the needs of your family? Why or why not? They have a different views or moral standards, how they deal with it. Let us hear the first those people whose moral standards are under deontology.
Good day, I am Ranalyn Nueca, 23 years of age and currently residing here at San Pedro and also working as a secondary education teacher. So the dilemma that I got is the about the diversion. So I have different stand about the diversion. So just a short background, right? The Catholic, alright, slowly adapting the or recognizing the diversion. Um, Personally, I am a Roman Catholic and currently receiving the doctrines of the Church of Christ. So, um, from the doctrines that I receive, alright, it is in a divine law that we should not, alright, commit with the diversion, or we should not file a diversion. First, it is part of the culture and also the law, okay, that the divine or God has made. Right? And it is viewed as a sacred union of a couple. Right? And based on what I have remembered, the divorce is not allowed because it is God who bind that couple or give sacred union for that couple. And we cannot separate that. Okay? Or people cannot separate those sacred union. Right. That is my stand about the divorce. That's it. Thank you.
They are under deontology. Why? This is because deontology is the right which is based on fulfilling duties. It is related to the commandments of human law. It demands consistent reason and reject contradiction. If it contradicts, then it's not right. The fallback of this theory is the state of being happy. You can be morally right if you put aside your happiness, or the worse, by being miserable. Okay, if the ontology follows the laws or commandments, Let us discover its difference to relativism. Let us hear their moral actions to the following dilemmas.
Okay, so the question is, supposedly this year is your graduation year, and unexpectedly your family or your parents is sick, and no one will provide with for your family. And will you be willing to sacrifice for your family's needs? Why or why not? So my answer is yes, I'd be willing to sacrifice for my family because first, I believe that family always comes first because they are the first people that whoever loved us. They are the first people who sacrifices for us, gives their best, their effort to make us feel loved, to feel us safe, to make us safe and provide for us and provide us food, health, shelter and everything that we need to or in order to live. Yes, families always come first because they put us first, especially our parents. They put us first before their needs. So I think it's only fair to say that families always come first before everything. Second is giving a little sacrifice is not hard if you love someone. So I love my parents, so I will sacrifice everything for them. Because to think, they sacrificed everything for me. And that 1 year of sacrifice is just a little portion of the things that they have sacrificed all throughout the years of their lives just to put me in a better place, right? And third and last, education is just around the corner. It's always there forever. It won't go away, actually. But our parents, especially our parents, is not there forever. They're not there to be with us forever. That's the reality because that is inevitable and it can happen anytime. We'll never know because with just a snap, a week, a day, an hour, they could be gone. So I think it's best to make them feel loved by sacrificing because sacrifice is a symbol of being selfless. And being a selfless person requires a lot of love from someone. So yeah, I'd sacrifice everything from for my parents, especially for their health, because I want them to live long. I want them to feel that they are loved, and it's just being practical. That's all.
Hello everyone, good evening. Today I introduce myself and my name is Marvin Corpus and now my age is 16 years old and religion I am a member of Church of Christ and now I'm studying of grade 11 and now I read to everyone to about ethical dilemma. My ethical dilemma is about you discover that your coworker always has a misunderstanding with her husband and loses interest in their relationship. Will you advise her to have a divorce? My answer is why. Because advising someone to divorce is a serious matter and not something to suggest lightly, especially if you're not fully aware of all the dynamics in the relationship. Instead, I would take a more supportive and neutral approach by encouraging her to reflect on her situation and seek professional guidance. Here's why. Complexity of relationship. Marital issues like misunderstanding of temporary disinterest can often be resolved through open communication, counseling, creepy deeper and self-reflection. Suggesting divorce without fully understanding the situation could be premature. Next, in my situation, my another of suggestion about ethical dilemma is about encouraging self-determination. It's important to empower people to make their own decision about their relationship. Advising divorce might come across overstepping boundaries of impo- imposing personal views. This is my answer this about ethical dilemma. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Sarah Marticio. I'm 22 years old. I am a values educator. Today, I will answer the question. You discover that your coworker always has a misunderstanding with her husband and loses interest in the relationship. Will you advise her to have a divorce? Why or why not? I do not agree with the divorce. However, I will advise her to fix their misunderstanding and have a proper communication with her husband, to think of their family and their children. Because marriage is no joke. Marriage is not like rice that is spit out when burned. Marriage should be founded with communication, commitment, and companionship. Thank you.
The cultural relativism, which is a good anchor to the culture on the ground. Values that are embraced by a particular culture. Relativism also disregards intuition or common sense as it challenges the weakness of the will. You must do it, but you're having a hard time doing it. It has two dimensions: the psychological egoism and altruism. Psychological egoism is the actions wherein it is motivated by self-interest, even when they appear altruistic, and the example of that is Marvin. On the other side, the example of altruistic is Charles, wherein he's being selfless and makes other people his first priority. Lastly, let us hear the people who fall under utilitarianism.
Hi, I am Jonna, third year BAMA student. So let's say that I am in a long distance relationship and I cannot give the needs of my partner. Then I found out that he cheated on me. Is it like acceptable or not? Well, honestly, cheating is never been okay. There's just no excuse for it. Even if it's like a long distance relationship, that doesn't make it any less wrong. Because at the end of the day, relationships are built on trust and loyalty, and cheating doesn't add up to it. So if they were unhappy or felt something was off, I think they should have just talked it out instead of going behind their partner's back. So yeah, and also, actually, I've never been through it, but based on my surroundings, I could tell how painful it feels. Because it's not just about the act of cheating it's about the broken trust, the lies, and the lack of respect for everything you both work for. So for me, distance doesn't force anyone to cheat actually. That's a choice they made. So if someone truly cares about you, they will find ways to stay committed no matter how hard it gets. So cheating isn't love. It's selfish and it hurts more than words can explain. So yeah, that's for me.
Good day. I am Apulaika Colyantas, 24 years of age, and currently working as a teacher in primary grade at San Pedro, Laguna. Supposed to be your graduation year, but your parents are sick and no one will provide for your family. Are you willing to sacrifice your study to support the needs of your family? Why or why not? So to answer that question, yes, I am willing to sacrifice my study for my family. Just like what people say, life is not a race. I can always go back to school, but I cannot endure seeing my family suffer from hunger. Seeing my parents' sickness getting worse without me giving any help is already torture. I cannot also say if I can really focus with my study given that situation. It will also be a problem if we have a project, miscellaneous, and other financial related needs in the academic. Just like what we have studied in ethics during my college years, people will be more happy if the sacrifices are for the greater good of most of the people around you. Thank you.
As you can see, utilitarianism opposes the idea of deontology. This views happiness and morality as the same thing. The utilitarian thinks of all possible outcomes and consequences, and what they choose is the action that benefit from them the greater number of people involved in the decision. This view is widely used in making moral actions or responding to ethical dilemmas. This study also gives birth to the idea of social contract. There must be a good law to have a good society. Do unto others as you would have them undo to you. The golden rule says. Alright, in conclusion, the answer of all people I have interviewed depend on their norms, universal law, culture, and their own judgment, which pleases them or most of the people around them. We can easily say, this is the right thing to do, that is wrong, but in reality, it is challenging and coming up with the solutions. Needs a lot of self-reflections. This means being ethical is not an easy task, and even philosophers did not pose a right answer to the question, what is good? Really not the, is it? And that's all. Thank you.